seconds remaining. Reserve time.
There we go. Alright, sorry about that. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Zone presentation of the iLeague Season 3 Dota 2 Chinese qualifiers. Here we have Newbee versus Tongfu.WZ, Game 2 of a Best of 2 series, and we are going right on through the draft. Had some fun talking to you guys a little bit about 6.84 in the chat. I decided that the best thing to do would be essentially to answer your guys' questions directly there and delay the draft commentary so that I can keep my focus on 6.83 for the game itself. So no more dabbling into 6.84 during my audible commentary. I'll leave that for other forums. But for now, going into this game 2, focusing on 6.83 and the metagame that is still upon us for now, we're seeing a lot of those familiar faces. Lina, Earthshaker, Axe, Juggernaut. Not surprising picks from Newbee whatsoever. Storm Spirit, Clock, Witch Doctor, Zeus coming in from Tongfu.WZ. What I see from Tongfu is that they want to fight, and they want to fight early. They were also trying to bait out a sniper pick, I think. I think that they looked at it and they said, okay, well, Sniper's still in the pool, and they are going to be looking to jump them with heroes like Storm Spirit and Clockwork. In the end, that didn't get picked up. In fact, it gets banned out in Phase 2, and yeah, they're going to go ahead and go into kind of an ulti-dependent draft cycle. Essentially, going in Death Ward into Cogs, Ball, Lightning, and the Hookshot Initiation. They really want to emphasize finding those kills, very gank-oriented. But they still have to be creating space for somebody, so we'll see that last carry coming through pretty soon. It's not going to be the Ember Spirit, but still a lot of the pool. They could go for Spectre. I think Spectre's the best pick here. So, we'll see if they want to go for Spectre, but it seems like something that Xinkyu would be pretty good at. He has a really good global map sense, so I would say Xinkyu probably wants to pick that one up. Anyways, the bans here, Batrider, Shadow Fiend, Lion, and Tide, Troll, Queen of Pain, Ancient Apparition, Sniper, and now Ember Spirit. Not too surprising, all in all. I mean, these are, especially for Phase 1, what we saw from Moo on the Shadow Fiend was very respectable, and they wanted to take that off the table. And then the other four, are definitely Phase 1 bans as far as the metagame goes. And moving forward, now we have a supporting cast pretty strong from the side of Tongfu.WZ. Now they are running a support Zeus, so I mean that does have its limitations, but if they can get map control out a little bit, they've got a lot of potential damage just between these two. Lina, Earthshaker, Axe, they've got a lot of AoE initiation. Their fights kind of rely a lot on the initiation, so June presumably on the Axe will have a pretty tall order for himself to set things up. If he makes the good calls happen, then that's going to work out really well for their team. They're going to set up all the damage, and everything will kind of follow suit. But one missed call, one Blink Dagger put on cooldown by a Zeus, and suddenly the team fight is kind of difficult. They're on the defensive automatically. The Earthshaker trying to Fisher and help them disengage, and yeah, I don't know. I think that Newbee put a lot on this Axe, and I feel like there's a lot of different ways that the Axe could fail. Not just from a player perspective, but like if anything happens to either break down his farm so that he's not tanky enough to really confidently initiate, or if anything puts his Blink Dagger on cooldown, it's going to be hard to really get that control out. So we'll see how they proceed. But the last pick is actually going to be a Templar Assassin. I guess they can go safe lane Storm, mid TA, and feel better about the mid matchup. I think that's the idea here. They know that with the Skywrath pick that Lina is a support. Moo is going to be running on the Lina, and they want to be able to address it. So they go TA. They think that's going to be the matchup that wins them the mid lane, and they'll just put Storm on the safe lane. Storm can rush out an Orchid or a Bloodstone. Something to... I would say Bloodstone is pretty important against the Axe Skywrath, honestly, but eventually, you'll have to consider the fact that all the HP in the world is not really going to help you enough against this lineup. They still can just pull out the damage from all these different angles. So, overall, I think Newbee's draft has a lot of potential, but we'll see how this Axe works out. Because as you can see, June is actually going to be running the offlane Shaker, and that means it's a 4-position Axe, mostly jungling. Banana is comfortable with a 5-position role, just buying out wards constantly and playing full support. As you're going to see, his inventory just will drop its net worth value. Like this will go down to like, I don't know, 150 or something, but whoa, never mind, it's a swap. Okay, so never mind. Okay, so this changes a lot. The Axe is going to be played by Moo, and I have to say that, I mean, obviously the swap changes things, and we're going to go to a remake. I guess I can't speculate too much on this Lina and what she's going to do when we're remaking. They may still go for this support Lina. They may switch it back the other way. But right now it looks like it's going to be like maybe a mid-Axe and offlane Shaker, and then the Skywrath and the Lina roaming supports. But we'll see. Gonna go to a quick splash screen, and we'll be having this game come out in just a couple minutes here. So I'm just gonna go silent, radio silent, and wait for the remake lobby to come back up. Alright, so I figured out a good way of actually getting the interaction that you guys are looking for as far as 6.84, all those questions. Best way that I can think of dealing with it is actually setting up this website called ask.fm. A lot of people in the pro scene use it. So ask.fm/blazecasting if you have any 6.84 questions, and I'm going to be responding throughout the day. So I'll post a link here in, with the delay, and yeah, if you guys have any questions, ask.fm. It's pretty cool. I've actually used it a little bit here and just now set up an account. Remake number 2.
Templar Assassin.
Ah, clockwork!
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be iLeague China's second game of a 2-game series between Newbee and Tongfu.WZ. It is actually a AP remake. The second one we had some ping issues. Now we're all figured out and we're back with this same draft. So going over it real quick for those that are just joining us. Banana is going to be running support Skywrath Mage. Moo is presumably the mid-axe. That leaves Sansheng to be the other support along with the Skywrath on the Lina. And then Rabbit will be the Boots First Juggernaut. This leaves June to take the offlane Boots First Earthshaker with this cool little helmet dealy bob he's got there. And we'll look over at the side of Tongfu.WZ. We see here Xinkyu is the Storm Spirit going to go side lane for the safe lane Soul Ring build up. We're going to have Y-Seek go for the Bounty Rune early for a Bottle Rush TA on mid. It's going to be DDR on the Witch Doctor here, supporting alongside... Where did he go? Sayaka. Oh, there he is. He's on the mid blocking out, but for clarity, he's definitely looking to harass and jungle a little bit. And that's your Zeus. Bingo on the offlane on the Clockwork. Gonna let the Radiant range creep go and then block right about here with the cogs. So he's going to be able to pull those away, or at least keep them back, and that range creep's going to die very quickly. So an important thing to note here is the TA was essentially picked, from my perspective, it was the last pick in order to deal with a potential Lina mid matchup. Really good against Lina mid with the refraction, but the last pick kind of was a mind game of itself because Moo gets to go for the Axe, and the Axe destroys TA in the mid lane. Between the Battle Hunger and the Counter Helix, she just can't deal with it. She just takes too much damage. She gets harassed out heavily. She will have at least an early bottle to help her out, but it's still not going to be an easy lane. She's going to need some help. And actually, mid lane, oh, this is the opposite of help. This is a Snowball losing his life before the bottle reaches the TA. Oh, that's just brutal. Banana, you fiend. So now that bottle that was gonna save TA's laning state is now down in the grave for 3 minutes, or at least 2.5. I forgot they nerfed that. But either way, we see now the pressure coming through, the creep waves being pulled, the fissures blocking. And the end result is Earthshaker's in range for some creep kills. Neutrals, as well as these dire creeps, but he is now kind of stacking up these two sets, and he's staying around for a little long, but it looks like they won't be able to bring him down anyways. Malediction, right clicks, not going to be enough. In fact, DDR taking a lot of creep damage in the process. So, just going to be June covering up the top rune spawn, not like the TA is ambitious for it without a bottle, so there you go. In fact, she's going to take some good damage here. Refraction, not going to do too much against that Battle Hunger. And yeah, this is going to be a very frustrating lane for TA as Moo just now got the bottle for himself. June, I think, could just cover it up. Yeah. There's going to be a full bottle refill for Moo off the bat. He'll give one bottle sip to the Earthshaker, and then he'll refill it at the top rune. Or he'll sip it himself because he's a jerk. But either way, right now, Moo gets his full refresh, June gets the bottle, and he'll bring it back to the mid. And Bottle Crow it. Wow, they are really just going the distance on this bottle. The 2-sip trick doesn't really work, but also Earthshaker's full HP and mana, so it doesn't really matter. Phase Boot's going to come up pretty early for the Juggernaut here. He's getting some good zoning presence from the Skywrath Mage against Bingo. Nice cog play, allowing him to pull back the lane, still get some good experience, but now we see that pull coming through from Sansheng, and as he doubles that up, it's going to really hurt him. Oh, Y-Seek. Poor Templar Assassin. So close to being in a spot where he can start fighting the lane, but this last Battle Hunger might be his undoing. Moo's going to chase. There's the refraction going to be needed just to keep him surviving. Or not. Oh my gosh. Wow. He's waiting to the last possible second, just keeping us on our toes, but he'll live with just that last 15 HP and get the bottle from the courier at base. So really rough spot for him. He's 7-4 versus the Axe is going to be breaking 20 last hits very quickly. And yeah, now he's back to where he should have been, but with that courier snipe, it's just so difficult. It really is just a really tough lane already, but Banana made it infinitely harder. Like, they destroyed that mid lane just based on that one courier pickup. And now bottom lane's doing, of course, fine because they have that 3v1 advantage. And top lane seems to be doing okay. Right now, June, he keeps on walking into harm's way, then walking right back out. The boots advantage over the Witch Doctor helping him out quite a bit. Also, the Zeus is not really the best here to get kills in that situation. Like, Zeus will add in some damage when you pretty much almost already have the kill and you just need a little bit more. but he doesn't do more than other supports. Now TA being converged upon. Oh man, they have the call too. If they only saw where she was melding, but I doubt they had the vision right there.
Regeneration.
Either way, supports roaming around, boots on each, smoke on the courier, and Dire are clueless. This is going to be potentially another kill. Oh, just a solo kill maybe. Refraction does come out. The Battle Hunger, he's out of mana, or he already used it as she gets a last hit on her creep. But now she's like, okay, yay, I survived. He doesn't have that much mana. I'm not as threatened, and as such, she might push out. And if she does, she's going to get caught by a lot more. Yseek just having a really hard time there, and Juggernaut, they're fine to let him 1v1. However, it is worth noting the Clockwork has probably called missing at this point. I mean, he's getting 1v1 face time with the Juggernaut. You're not going to get that unless the support is missing. So I think the TA is just going to sit safe. Go for just, I was going to say a stack play on the Ancients, but a little late for that. Still, just avoid this general area as much as possible is the right idea for the TA. Don't go into the river. Just get the experience, because you know this until the supports show, you have to assume they're right next to you. But Juggernaut going to be taking some hits from Bingo. Bingo goes for a 1-1-2 build for last hitting at long range. And actually, Yseek now in a position where he can be caught. He gets impatient. He thinks, okay, eventually I got to make my move on the lane. But now he goes down. Dunk down. And the courier again. No! Oh, the Snowell will live this time. But man, if he didn't, that would have been miserable. Either way, the first blood is a decapitation of a lovely lady in the mid lane, and then up top. The tower pressure is going to be pretty minimal. I mean, the creeps don't do too much against the Fisher, and Earthshaker just going to be turtling under the tower for now. He finds himself to level 4 while the clock is approaching level 5. Not much experience advantage, but it's still there. Either way, though, both of them not really getting much out of the lanes directly in terms of gold. 11 last hits versus 6. Doesn't really make much difference. So we're going to see this really good momentum for Mu. He's going to be building up towards that Blink Dagger very rapidly. We can expect that to be coming out within the next 3 minutes for sure. Probably 2.5. June goes invis, but that's not going to help him. He does get jumped on, and they do get their first kill. Just able to connect with enough disables the cask, the malediction. So good damage there, and it's mostly just the Zeus and the Witch Doctor. The Storm actually not involved whatsoever.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So looking over at net worth, early on, we're seeing this axe just insanely high up there with the first blood, with good rune control, and with these creeps all in working with him. DDR will put out a ward, but they'll just see that there's 2 heroes instead of 1, and Storm Spirit without it at level 6 is going to get caught out. Sansheng, Dragon Slave misses. He's actually doing some good damage to Banana, and he will actually set up a return kill before going down himself. Fisher to finish him off. Sayaka taking some hits. No Light Strike Ray, just the Slave, but it's enough damage and right click to bring him down. But on the back end, DDR dives the tower, kills the Shaker, only to feed Sansheng further. Double kill for the Lina. I thought this was support, but they may just be feeding her to a core level very soon. Either way, though, it's a 3 for 2 as they dive the tower. It's nice that they're getting kills because of the fact that they are so far behind in this laning stage. But top lane was the lane that they were winning. So feeding those 3 heroes' lives away for just the Shaker and the Skywrath, not really ideal. Down bottom, we're going to see Juggernaut hanging out with the Clock and the Storm. These guys are going to be ganking pros very, very soon, but right now they can't do too much. The Storm actually, I think, wasted his TP entirely there, and I guess they assumed it was Juggernaut sticking around a little bit longer.
Over here now.
Either way, though, Haste Rune will be snatched up by Shinkyu, and he has the Bottle and Soul Ring aspects to help him out here. He's going to walk right into Shaker. There's a possibility of getting a kill if he plays it really smooth, but instead it's just a back and forth and then just berating him, sending him home, and it is just not really going to be much going his way. He's annoying them, but he's not really actually doing anything positive. In fact, gets fissured out. Could they get the silence the call? Oh, they don't get it, but oh, wow. Oh, man. Everything just setting up perfectly against the Storm Spirit there. Locking him in. Catching him between a rock and a hard place. Walking into the axe or the Shaker. Either one has a disable waiting for you. And then the Laguna already available thanks to that double kill earlier. So the Storm feeds away a second death. And I really just, there was nothing positive going to happen there. Omni Slash coming out on Bingo doesn't get the last Omni Slash onto the hero, but it's okay. He does end up getting the last hit with the spin. Now gonna try to TP away. The Vortex will cancel it. Rabbit going down, and that is a big kill. Big momentum swing from Tongfu.WZ, and they absolutely needed it. They've been hurting across the map, so getting that 1-for-1 is gonna allow them to feel a little bit better. I think, honestly, that if the Juggernaut just immediately TP'd or even just immediately walked away, he would have been fine. But he didn't realize the situation with the TA coming in from the trees and thought that, you know, it's a safe spot for him to be. And far from the truth, he does go down, but Blink Dagger coming up for Moo. That is not even a 10-minute Blink Dagger. Like, it's insane. Gonna have a very fast Yule Scepter, yeah? Yeah, Yule Scepter. I got confused because I'm like, oh, there's 4 staff components involved here. And I saw a recipe, but no. June actually going in for the Echo Slam here. Good damage onto the TA, but Moo can't get the dunk. In fact, is trapped out. He will go down. Nice attempt, but in the end, they just don't have the damage. They can't bring their target down, and now they're caught out in the river. First the Axe, now the Lina. And just a lot of kills going away, and these are unforced errors. They're the ones getting aggressive, but Tongfu.WZ putting them back in their place. Hook shot, I mean, that was on the mark. That was good, but I mean, it was really Newbee's positioning and movement there that cost them their lives. Hell, the Earthshaker almost went down. Thunder God's Wrath is a pretty good spell, though. Storm Spirit. Gonna get caught out by the solo Storm pickoff. No chance to silence him. So the Storm Spirit went for this Electric Vortex build. It's the kind of classic build that you used to see much more. But 1, 2, 4 for now means he can't farm up stacked camps. They didn't even bother. But he will be able to get kills like that against heroes like Skywrath. We do see down bottom, Rabbit really wants this tier 1 tower. Bassie's on, Mask of Menace is ready to go, but the TP rotation is kind of scary. We see a smoke play coming through, Move with the Blink Dagger, about to show it off up against the TA. There will be a cask, but that's not enough to save the life, and actually, the Death Ward doing some good damage. Moo actually going down, oh my gosh, Witch Doctor. Finding kills where they really shouldn't be. They just ended up using all of their disables against the TA initially, and that cost them. Rabbit getting the tier 1 tower down, though, that kind of seemed inevitable, but it's still definitely a positive thing for Newbee. I don't know. I feel like they had such an advantage, and their heroes were in such a good position that they didn't have to give so much the way of Tongfu.WZ. Like, all in all, they're still doing good things, and they're still winning this game, but they could be winning it a lot more significantly if they hadn't given away 8 kills in total. I think only 2, maybe 3 of those deaths were necessary. That adds up to a lot of deaths that didn't need to happen. No, boys, this is 6.83. Not a lot of these heroes were changed in 6.84 anyways. I mean, there are always some modifications, but they seem to be slight. Actually, yeah, I can't, like, almost all these heroes were barely touched. Gonna see a hook shot come out onto June. Gonna lock down the Earthshaker pretty nicely. Echo Slam comes out. They're gonna be able to get the clockwork with a Laguna, but Shinkyu goes for the TP immediately, and he's out. DDR zoning with the Death Ward, but now has to go and retreat. Rabbit with the Omni Slash. Looking for Sayaka, finds him, crits him down, and now DDR caught out completely. Didn't really know where to go from that point forward. Could have tried a tree juke and then a TP, but nah, doesn't work out. iSeek in the meantime farming up the Ancient stacks, or at least one of them, and he's trying to build himself back up from that really bad laning phase. Yeah, I mean, Lina did get nerfed. I mean, there were changes, but I really don't feel like most of these heroes were hit that hard. Even the Juggernaut kind of got a slap on the wrist. 2,000 experience, though, flowing the way of Newbee as they regain some momentum here. Gonna look to probably take down this mid-tier 1 pretty soon. And it is going to be the Bloodstone build from the Safe Lane Storm. I see this quite a bit, and it should be alright for him building up defensively. He's going to be able to soak up a lot of damage in these fights, but the problem is he just doesn't farm very quick. Like, you look at this here with the Remnant, his Overload does all the damage, He's just not that efficient with his movements. He has to find kills, but the kills are going the other way. DDR going to be gunned down immediately. One right click, one arcane bolt. And now they're going to just go ahead and just go for the spin. Movie's going to get a taunt onto the Zeus, and that's going to be his death with one more counter helix or the Dragon Slave. Gets the kill anyways, but on the southeastern end, we do see the Earthshaker going down very quickly. Bingo's taken out, and now Xinkyu silence on the run. Rabbit trying to get him, but it looks like he'll actually go down to Moo as he blinks in. He just had the silence wear off, but Moo gets the call, and it doesn't matter. Now Moo will be finished off, and as the dust settles, it's only 2 heroes left alive. Have the Templar Assassin as well as the Juggernaut walking away from it, but fight recap should tell us a little bit more. Pretty even. A big boost of experience for the TA, though. She was the one to clean house there. She was the last woman standing for most of that fight, and she did just a tremendous amount of damage. Actually, 4 heroes doing 1,400, including the Clockwork, is quite surprising. But, yeah, in the end, the TA, she's the one to win out the most. Axe and Juggernaut walk away pretty happy. But the TA, oh my gosh, 1,000 gold, 2,200 experience. Yeah, let's consider this laning phase salvaged. He's able to pull himself back up to a really good spot. Juggernaut on the hunt. Haste Rune moving around, looking for Siaka. Won't find him in the trees. Very close call. Now, he's still running around with the Haste Rune, still kind of looking for that, but Zeus is not going to be sticking around here, as much as Rabbit would love him to. Clockwork going for the Chainmail. Looks like it's going to be the Blade Mail from him. Not bad this game. There are quite a few spells that you just kind of throw out there. I mean, the Echo Slam, the Skywrath Mage, Mystic Flare. A lot of stuff can be soaked up, and of course it also allows them to enter into the Thunderdome. Go in, put people in cogs, pop the Blade Mail, and if they're fight, they're hitting themselves. Desolator rush out from TA is going to be her course of action. Really not much more you can do at this point in the game. I mean, BKB is going to be very important, but to rush it would be admitting defeat pretty early on, because then you're just using all the charges as quickly as possible, and your item gets weaker as the game goes on. It's not a good pickup. You'd be lacking damage. And so she will try to go for the Desolator first. If this enables her to get Roshan and get the Aegis, then she will be okay with not having a BKB for a little bit. But if not, then there's a chance she'll go down just being so squishy. Top gonna be denied. The Stormspirit unable to commit to the tower. And I actually find it interesting to watch the Earthshaker jungling here. Enchant Totem, Aftershock, pretty good. And June's actually gonna be able to get his Blink Dagger off of this. Just one more camp and he's good to go. In the meantime, though, Sanjin Yasha comes out on Rabbit. Movement speed build galore. Even the phase boots on top. He is overkilling his movement speed past 522 when everything is said and done. And now he's going for it, yeah. Going beyond the 522. Going for bingo. But that would be the deepest dive I've ever seen if he goes under the tier 3 tower up against those two. So just doing some good push. In the meantime, Xinkyu just building up towards that Bloodstone, and he's going to be off to the side.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Vanguard coming out for Moo here. He's looking for that Crimson. At least I think. I mean, he could just go casual Vanguard, then go for a pipe. I actually would like that quite a bit. I mean, he has his initiation tool. He has his tank item. I could see the Vanguard being pretty casual. In fact, I don't even know why I assumed Crimson Guard. The double block is nice against the meld and then the auto attack of the TA. It doubles the block effects there. And block is more effective when you're at high negative armor as well. A lot of people don't understand that, but essentially, since block occurs pre-mitigation, that usually means that when you have a bunch of armor, it doesn't really help the block too much because you're not taking the damage away after the armor is applied. But when you're at negatives, like Banana would be with a meld Desolator Strike, maybe that would make the difference. I don't know. We're going to see the ultimate come out from the Zeus. Moo can't blink in, and the Aegis will go to the Storm, so they can engage on this fight, and it could be a really good one. But Blink Echo Slam is ready, and June is just waiting for the opportunity. For now, they're isolating targets. Banana, oh, he saves them with the call. Beautiful play there, but Rabbit does go down to the Meld Strike after the Omni Slash is done. Echoing a solo hero to try to bring him down. Storm Spirit getting chain stunned, but they can't dunk him in time. He's still going to get his mana. He's still going to use his spells. He's still going to chase down Sansheng and get that kill. Now it's going to be CA plus the Clockwork going up against the Axe, and they are just playing games with him. At this point, the TA wants to pursue. Phase Boots are here, but a TP and a Blink Dagger makes it almost impossible. So, in the end, a very good fight from Tongfu. They don't even lose the... Oh, they did lose the Aegis. Okay, so Storm dropped down pretty easy there. At the beginning of it, they Echo Slammed him as soon as he respawned right around here. So... They brought him down once. They weren't able to kill him off the second time, though. And despite some good damage coming in from Newbee, I mean, the Omni Slash was really good. They got so split up. The intention of Newbee in that position is to funnel them all into this choke point and then hit a big Echo Slam anywhere in this area and just tear them apart. They had the Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker just recently picked up. They absolutely could have done that. But the problem was the Omni Slash bounces, took Juggernaut all the way over here, and then he dies. So everybody splits up. The Echo Slam was only a solo, and they didn't end up killing the Storm with it in the end. So really, the biggest issue there was not really fully capitalizing on the AoE circumstances of that specific terrain for that fight. Either way, though, they followed up with a quick solo kill on the Zeus. Pretty easy pickings. Moo gonna go for a Force Staff, it looks like. Could be a Yule's as well, but I don't feel too strongly in that. It'll probably just be the Flying Cleaver. And the net worth, the experience, dipping much closer to Tongfu's favor. Especially, obviously, the 3k experience advantage they had before Zeus went down. But we are going to see Xinkyu go back for an Orchid. And I really am not sure how to feel about that one. I mean, I like the idea to stop the initiation of, like, the Axe when he's jumping in, or the Earthshaker as well. You could also use it on the Juggernaut, and if he doesn't turn one of his swords into the Manta style, then well, actually, he's going to go for BKB, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't know, this Orchid in my mind is an item that really starts falling off when people start picking up BKBs, and I honestly feel like Axe and Juggernaut are going to have a BKB by the time this Orchid is going to become relevant. That might be like a 3 minutes difference between the Moo's BKB and the Orchid on the Storm. And then he's going to be hurting because he's going to get silenced, and his only option then is Bloodstone Suicide. Like, we're going to see a Blink initiation attempted, but no, they can't close in. So yeah, I mean, the Orchid could do work, and I'll see. I mean, obviously it would be very preventative, very good to react to tough situations, but in the end, I don't know if it's going to give him the tools he needs to take these fights. I still think it's going to be Tongfu.WZ that have to engage very carefully, and actually it's going to be the catch-out here with this Radiant Observer Ward. They find the Clockwork, they bring him down. Moo caught in a bad spot, though. He will be right-clicked. He will be finished off. And now going to be seeing Rabbit go for the Omni Slash play right onto Xinkyu. He's silenced up. The Echo Slam is so legit. And they just chain stun him here. Rabbit right-clicking through the refraction, and eventually they look to bring him down. He does blink away before AoE can come through. There's very small intervals between the Blink Dagger here, with the 5-second Aftershock, as well as the Dragon Slave and such from the Lina, but TA has that small window. She blinks away, and she will survive. As long as she knows how to love, at least. We're going to see a big ball in. Sansheng not going to get hit by the lightning itself, but will be taking a lot of right clicks and the Vortex. But now Xinkyu, very low on mana, cannot afford to die again, but he does have some reinforcement TPs. So in the end, Newbee, right now, feeling pretty good about that fight. We're able to take it hands down. And it really came down to just their great control. I mean, they first found the Clockwork with the Axe, which is good, but the way the Earthshaker played that fight was tremendous. June really made his impact known, and of course the Omni Slash was quite solid too. They really wish they could get the TA, though. She's been farming really well. I mean, you got to remember, this TA was in a terrible lane matchup, lost her bottle on the Courier before she could acquire it, and then she had a third of the CS of the Axe. She was even the first blood. But as a result of all these kills, as well as some good farm rebound, she has suddenly found herself to the top of the net worth chart, right up there with the Juggernaut. That's just incredible. Goes Scepter up for Lina, so makes sense against Lanaya. And it's not too bad against the Storm Spirit either, but she does have to watch her health pool against the magical nukes coming out here. Oh, it also would stop the Death Ward, so that's pretty sweet too. Ghost Scepter in general is pretty good this game.
Dire's middle tower.
Juggernaut has his BKB complete. Orchid progress still down to the quarterstaff for the second Oblivion. Storm Spirit's pushing top, just kind of split push. They don't feel like they can take this fight, and they're just going to let the tier 2 tower go. In the meantime, we've got Templar Assassin farming up the creep camps here, just trying to do what she can. But a big aspect is that she can't tap into her Ancients anymore. The Observer Ward here clearly indicated that this area is under control of Newbee, and they're not going to let anybody else say differently. So in this case, TA, whenever she goes to farm Ancients, she's taking a huge risk. And it's got to be somewhere else. They actually don't see anybody on the map here. No, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that? Shinkyu charging across the map. It's going to be another suicide. What? That is like just mad plays. Is it more efficient at level 16? Would it make a difference if he had slightly more experience? It's just the damage, right? It's faster. It's still the mana per distance traveled, right? Yeah, no, it would make absolutely no difference. So that was just a bad play, to be honest. I mean, he just zips. They Zeus the ulti to give him vision. He's like, please, Thunder God's Wrath, let's see if I can find one person all by themselves. They found somebody by themselves, but he went across the entire map to do so and exhausted all of his mana. Now, wrong neck of the woods is the Templar Assassin getting caught out. Haste and Blink not quick enough to save her. And we'll see the pressure up top. I mean, they haven't taken even the tier 1 here, so they'll go for that.
Dire's top tower is under
3,000 plus net worth, bringing it back down to 0 experience. And we'll see what June ends up picking up. He's got actually quite a bit of gold on him, Juggernaut too, but gonna find actually a kill on the Witch Doctor, fueling that fire a little bit more. Mu though, he's looking for a target in the east, finds Sayaka, so he's gonna take him out before he can ulti, and now Shinkyu gonna go away. Nice Echo Slam attempt, but not gonna connect, and he questions his own ability. But we see Lina looking for something. Detection was there with the Sentry Ward, so they saw the Storm Spirit right until this point. And I like how Lina tried to strike array right where he would have been still in range. Obviously, there's no point in stunning him outside the range unless you have detection, which now Lina has purchased. But yeah, they kill off a couple of some good supports there. They pop the BKB on the Storm, and it looks like Clockwork's going to be fine. Going to be Rabbit building up a Eye of Scotty next. And Eye of Scotty. Going to be able to just have that much. I mean, he could go for the Manta, but he really doesn't need to this game. So I'd say, yeah, it's probably definitely the Scotty. And that's just going to give him a ton of stats to play around with and a lot of damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Just watching your guys' reaction for that Storm Spirit, I feel the same way, guys. I feel the same way. Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. Well, he's got his Orchid finished here, 27.5 minutes in. And Mu is not going for the BKB just yet, so maybe we'll be able to stop that Axe, that Earthshaker, from doing what they intend to. Earthshaker went for the Force Staff, so a nice tool for him to move about the fight a little bit more actively. And I forgot to mention this, but the Force Staff, the reason they have 3 of them is because they're up against a Clockwork. And they just want to make sure that Cogs don't actually set up too many kills.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So the BKB is going to come out from Moon next. It's just going to take a little bit of time to build it up. He hasn't really been focusing on himself very recently. He's been allowing others to get the farm for themselves. So the Lina catches up, the Earthshaker's up there. I mean, this Lina, she's a support, but she was able to get just a few good kills in the early game, and she's actually finding a lot of farm for herself. Gemma True Sight, Urn of Shadows, Ghost Scepter, and Force is just the beginning, and she'll transition this into so much more. We do see here, though, DDR essentially just trying to keep Templar Assassin safe as she pushes down the tower. She takes a free tier 2 with the Refraction Desolator, and now it's going to be the Roche. The Storm Spirit could go for the Snatch, but it's very difficult against this kind of Observer Ward. We'll see what he does. Right now, it's up top. nothing really to take there as far as objectives go. Maybe get a good ward down beyond just this one. Sometimes you see people kind of going through this fog of war line and getting some wards down in this area or over there. Hard to say. Storm Spirit does go in, but he doesn't get the Aegis. He just gets death. Fissured immediately, and he goes down. Man, this guy is so YOLO. Like, straight up. I can tell why he favors Bloodstone. Jeez. Allied hero denials. But yeah, it's going to be the Scotty going the way of Rabbit. He'll have that very shortly. Just got the Aegis off the ground in the pit. And yeah, Storm did try for that play, but just too deep. This guy's just trying for too much. It's hurting them. It certainly is. I mean, this was their safe lane farmer. I've appreciated a lot of Xinqiu's play over the past few days, watching him play a variety of heroes, but his Storm Spirit has got to be just something that they pull back on the reins on a little bit. Otherwise, it's not a reliable pick. I mean, they opened with Clockwork Storm Spirit. It was their first pick hero, and they tried to bait the sniper, and it didn't work out. And now they're in a really awkward position. The racks are being pressured by a Juggernaut with a lot of HP, a healing ward behind him, and a second life. At this point, I really don't see an easy way to force him back, poking and prodding, without risking yourself getting initiated on by the axe. I mean, this guy's got Blink and Force, and he's going to look for a call very soon. Right now, it's going to be on to DDR. He's not going to get the Death Ward off if he dies here, but the Fissure blocks off Rabbit, and Rabbit can't finish him off. The Ghost Scepter helps too, and Storm zips on the back line, trying to bring down June. June will go and hit the Echo Slam, stunning out the Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit dies in the back line, and Rabbit bounces around on the front. Death Ward does a few ticks, but he's got to stop it, throw out the stun. And now it's going to be the TA to chase. Nice BKB. The damage, though, the block from the Vanguard. She can't finish the job, and now she's getting kited. She's really slow. But she's going to go and force out the Ghost Scepter, pop the trap, and she should still find Banana here. 1, 2, 3 right clicks is needed, but she has to juke away from the call first. Now Melt Strike ready, but they see her. Either close, yeah, Geometry Sight on the Juggernaut here. Bingo. With the cogs, moves out of mana. They know it. They want to force that issue, but there's the Earthshaker back in the fight, bringing down the big Fissure. Huge dunks coming in, and it's going to be, in the end, a very bad fight for Tongfu.WZ. It is worth noting, though, that Wild Goose Chase that they went on is very, very far away from the Dire base. So just kind of chasing them all the way across the map means that they won't be pushing off of this successful fight. The TA's down, but still, I think that Newbee have to regroup before they go for the next play. So, yeah, the Earthshaker, when he got hit up by the storm, oh gosh. What? He's okay, TPing, okay. He's, no! Xinqiu, why? What are you doing, man? This is not looking good. In the end, though, he isn't feeding his life away this time, and he forced a BKB on the Juggernaut. So, 8-second charge down, and they're still going to go in, because they're really fearless. And Xinqiu's pretty low on mana, so he'll jump out once. They'll go for the 4-staff play for the second call. Canceled the first one, didn't for the second. Rabbit 4-staffed out with the hookshot, pulling Bingo in very deep, but he'll 4-staff himself across Fissure and Cog, and he'll be back to safety. So Rabbit gonna have to healing ward up, making the Malediction tick for nearly nothing. And here's the tier 3 under fire. The glyph is available though, pretty good for defending here. Rabbit taking some hits. All they have to do is just poke them down, just get them to go away. But here's going to be an attempted call. The Blink Dagger on cooldown. He should have forced, but now we see Xinqiu jumping in onto Sancheng. He'll get forced out as well. 4-staff gaming before the Echo Slam comes out, and there's the 2-man call. Dunk City coming across. DDR with absolutely nothing to contribute here. The buybacks are coming through now. Clockwork spends his first. Rabbit dodging out with the BKB. It looks like he'll survive. Malediction can't go through and melt the steel beams of the Juggernaut's iron will. But Thunder God's Wrath certainly can, and the Geometry Sight hits the deck. Alright, so fight recap, just showing the Juggernaut pickup. Juice is pretty happy about a 1800 experience gain. That's 2 levels for him just by popping his ultimate. That's pretty sweet.
Radiant's bottom tower
1800 experience. Sure, why not? Well, I guess he was going from level 11 to level 12, and that's a huge jump. That's like 2200 experience, so he doesn't get 2 levels. He just gets halfway to level 13, which is fine. He's still moving up the ranks there, really wants to max out his ultimate. But like I was saying, they're really just trying to poke and prod and force them back out of the base without expending too many buybacks here. They do lose a lot of lives, but they do get some kills in return. And Newbee, they're going to have to regroup and wait for the next Roche. I don't think they're going to go and try to push in anymore with this cycle. So about 3, 4, 5 minutes in there, we're going to be seeing the Roche respawn. And yeah. So right now, the BKB on the Axe is at 9 seconds. The Juggernauts is dwindling. TA, hers is pretty fresh. I mean, 8 seconds still. Very active in the fight. She needs to be. She can commit pretty hard, and she will be only counteracted really by the Axe call for now. Fisher can sometimes block you out, but Clockwork actually going to be eating the blade, the Mystic Flare, and just blade mailing it back the other way. So Skywrath and Lina go down there as they do actually finish him off with the Zeus. But obviously the cleanup crew coming in. Echo Slam now available, looking for the instant stun, and action happened across the map as Axe finds a solo kill here on to the Storm Spirit. Seriously? How do you even do that? Axe goes in 1700 damage. How many spins did he get to do 1700 damage in a single fight against the Storm Spirit? He was obviously out of mana, so I guess it was a Battle Hunger chase for him. He must have chased him down for a while there and whittled him down with Battle Hunger. Gotten a few spins, a couple of calls, and finishes him off. But yeah, out of mana Storm Spirit out in the open field, not a very good thing to have happen to you. He's down to 1 Bloodstone charge. 9 deaths on this guy, on the Storm Spirit. Whew. But they did get the Lina. Zeus killed her off here. And that was what they were down in the bottom lane for in the first place, was jumping Lina. That's why Storm committed so much mana. So, going back over to net worth, we've got a 12,000, so adjust my chair, uncomfortable, 12,000 net worth advantage for Newbee here. They're looking really good in experience, but Tongfu looked to hold the line. Diving Linas is probably not the best way to start, but it's what they feel is necessary. So Juggernaut actually going to be going for the Abyssal Blade next. And yeah, that's just going to be pretty standard progression for him. No surprises. It's just when that Sacred Relic comes out, I don't really feel that TA has an answer. She's going to be taking that stun, she's going to be locked out, she's going to be called, and that's really going to be answering all their problems. As long as they can get some survivability on their team as a whole, and the BKBs are doing pretty good, but I still kind of like the idea of Pipe of Insight. Either way, on the side of the Radiant, they're able to push in. They just need the Aegis and possibly the Cheese, and then they can go and feel really like in a position to just take things. But they know Roche is respawning soon. They want to take a fight right before then. They're going to go in the enemy jungle to do so. If they can turn that into a push, that's great, because this wave is pushing out pretty heavily. But Thunder God's Wrath scouts it out, and the pings come through. Dire know all this stuff, and I think they even saw this ward. So very helpful. T-Gods scouting things out. Sayaka just kind of playing it safe. So everybody's just going to hang out in Fountain here. They're literally not leaving the back half of their base. Hiding in their basements, cowering in fear. Newbee on the hunt. But it looks like they will find nothing. In fact, Storm Spirit split pushing. Doing the best he can with what he has. 20 mana regen is not the best for him right now, but just trying to stay mobile, stay active, and maybe force a TP back. Ideally, that's what happens, but if not, then the tier 3 gets pressured. Not that Storm Spirit's the best at split pushing, but he gets some damage in tier 3 and still TP's back home to help for the fight in mid. So as long as there's a stalemate here with long-range harassment, rocket flares, lightning bolts, arc lightning, this is time where Storm Spirit can absolutely be hitting on towers as long as he sees Axe. If he doesn't see Axe, he's worried about a TP, blink, kill. But if he does, then he should be okay. Still, he TP's back. They're worried about the fight happening before they're ready for it, and they actually go for a ball play that hits nothing. Shinkyu wastes half his mana. Sayaka getting caught out by the call, immediate Laguna Blade, and Rabbit solidifies this kill with the BKB. Everything's glowing gold as we see the fortification come through for the towers, and tier 3 should be falling pretty quickly. Even without the BKB, Juggernaut's pretty confident here. He's got the axe to back him up. The Earthshaker too. And that Zeus is down. But the tier 3 is plenty for them. Now they're going to look for Roche. And Shinkyu going to try to clean it up a little bit. At least pulls him back into it. The 4-staff out. Mu won't re-engage. So as it is right now, they're waiting on Roshan. Going to be down for just about a minute. And they're probably going to look to claim this high ground control with a Gem of True Sight. Where is that gem? Courier? Courier? Okay, so Sancheng's gem is actually on the Dire Courier. They were able to pick it up after they killed off the Lina bottom, I believe. It's hard to say. They've been kind of throwing that gem around to a lot of different heroes, so I'm not sure who had it last, to be honest. But we're going to see the hookshot connect on to Mu, and as tanky as he may be, he is solo. So the BKB just going to be an attempt to survive. In the end, the physical damage is too much, and he will fall. This is actually a really good time to pick off as Roche is about to spawn. They push out a tower really quickly. And unless Newbee can force a really good fight, this could be Tongfu kind of going on the comeback swing. Thunder God's Wrath scouting things out. They know exactly where the enemy is, and they know they've got about 8 more seconds of DPS time on this tier 2. That said, the axe buyback is worrisome. Buyback TP, Blink Dagger, 4-staff. He can really get to the fight quick. And so they have to be very wary about how they approach this offensive situation. They have the numbers advantage. They're running this power play, but Newbee are able to run the clock pretty well. And Shinkyu, that's an interesting way to do it, but it works, so it doesn't matter. Gonna go for his BKB next. Desperately needing this item for quite some time now. He will finally have it, and hopefully with that can start building Bloodstone Charge momentum rather than breaking it. In the meantime, though, TA, what's her next pickup? Daedalus. Coming in for her, and she looks like she'll buy the Demon Edge with this next Ancient stack. Right now she has a surplus of 2316, so she's safe to buy it without buying out. And with those Ancients, she's sure of that fact. So the one thing to note is that, generally speaking, you look at a lineup with a Witch Doctor and you say, hey, they have some really good late game progression potential because of the Aghanim Scepter. Problem is, DDR hasn't really been able to afford to work towards that item the entire game. 6,300 net worth at 41 minutes, just not able to go for it. They're going to go for a smoke play though. Unfortunately, Roche drops so quickly. They're going to have to go quick. Without the storm, maybe. How long is this ball going to be? I almost want to watch it, but you'll just have to watch the minimap. Is this going to be a very long ball in? Coming in from Shinkyu. DDR on the high ground, looking for a big death ward. Oh, what a spot to be, but he still gets scouted out by the observer ward and gets silenced immediately. A nice attempt, but he gets silenced. And now the TA has to buy back into it. The Skywrath is down, the Earthshaker's low. And it looks like the Earthshaker will get out. I'm watching that on the minimap. Clockwork's hunting him, but it's on the front line that the kills are happening. And yeah, the Earthshaker TP's home. Rabbit now with the BKB, going up against the TA who just bought back. She can't afford to go down, but she's afflicted by Scotty. She's caught in the taunt. She's getting bashed down. Why Seek getting spun on to his death. Oh no, this cannot happen. This is the dieback of the TA, down for 108. Screw Roshan, go for the throne. Newbee have just broken them with a double dieback. Now Shinkyu going in, trying to bring down Mu. The Orchid might just do it. No, it's not enough damage. He can't do enough alone, and he keeps on going solo. These are 3 heroes that can't buy back into this game, and all of them have it on cooldown. DDR being spinned, and that just might be the game. Like, they can just go right down the mid lane. All they need is a creep wave. But, at least for now, it's all stacked up here. Somehow, this Cardi holds the line for a long, long time. And so they're going to have to go for Roche first. Not because it's the better objective for the timing window, but because the backdoor protection means they have about 15 seconds to spare. So they go in, they take down Roche. Aegis to the Lina. Cheese Aiden immediately, I think I heard. Yeah, I heard somebody had the munchies. And now the cheese is gone. But, yeah, we're going to be seeing the last push in here. 47 seconds. Oh, okay. That works. He wanted to be on that side of the fissure. That's weird. But 40 seconds down, TA. How to commission. Storm Spirit for 25. These are the heroes they need to defend, and Rabbit's just going to immediately go for the tier 3 bottom. Very confident in himself right here. Has the Abyssal Blade, has enough mana to use everything, and it's got to be those 2 cores that go in. So this is going to be the last stand for Tongfu.WZ. Melee racks going down. Range racks almost guaranteed to go with them, but they pick off DDR, and Laguna with the Aghanim Scepter just destroys his health. Has 950 pure damage right to the face. And with that, that should be all they need to do to really feel secured in their victory. Ball forward here from the Storm Spirit. Ball back out. Fisher not going to connect. I don't know what to say about this Storm, guys. He's been trying. He really has been trying. But actually going to be a pickoff here. Rabbit going very low. They really are able to do some good damage to him. But in the end, he gets the BKB. And he gets to heal up nearly to full with the Earnest Shadows and the Healing Ward. Nearly to full. Who am I kidding? This thing's not even half done. Now we see the Storm balling on. Radiant don't have vision of him just yet, but one silence and he is in a bad way. He doesn't even have his BKB yet. But at this point, I'm not sure if he cares. He's got one life to give for his countrymen. He has one life left to die before the Dire will have befallen the same fate. Yules, Dota, Lina, and Skywrath picking it up here at 45 minutes. Relishing the 75 mana active while it still lasts. Got a couple of days still to work with that one, so you might as well. And here we go. Two tower up on the top lane. Going to be going down. And that's going to be a nice way to end out this game. Tongfu.WZ looking to hold the high ground. All cooldowns available. And all guns pointed at Newbee. Aegis on Sansheng, so they're focusing him, but he's still going to be fine with that. Taking the damage, but coming right back to life. The Death Ward is counteracted. No, it's still in the trees. Doing damage if only he had an Aghanim Scepter. But instead, it's just Newbee to tear through Tongfu.WZ. Triple kill for Rabbit. Omni slashing away. Set up perfectly. And the Death Ward can't do enough by itself. Good game, well played. Newbee 47-24. The graph numbers, you see it's 32,000 and 30,000 for the end advantage in Golden Experience. Newbee really just were able to dominate these two games here, completely controlling the map. Although it took them a little bit longer to end the game than they would have liked, they end it succinctly nevertheless. So that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Over on BTS1 for this specific match. This is Newbee versus Tongfu.WZ, and this is actually going to wrap it up for today's broadcast of iLeague China. I'm not sure exactly which stream it's on, but go over to BeyondTheSummit.tv and you'll find Coddle Guy broadcasting eSportal qualifiers for some EU Dota. I've been happy to be able to broadcast this Chinese Dota for you guys here, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. If you did enjoy the commentary, look me up on twitter.com/blazecasting. I'm actually going to be co-casting another match on a different stream in just a few minutes. So if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know exactly where that's at, and you'll be able to join me there. If you just have some questions about 6.84, I've been having a ton of fun going back and forth with you guys in the chat. But since I am moving streams, if you want to catch up with me, you can either tweet at me, or I just started up an ask.fm account. So ask.fm/blazecasting. You can ask me questions about 6.84 or whatever you want. But that's going to wrap it up for us here today. Once again, thank you for tuning in to BeyondTheSummit.tv. And Newbee, happy to walk away with 2-0. Congrats to them. That's the group stages here in iLeague China. And that's the end of our broadcast here. Once again, Cuddle Guy is broadcasting some EU Dota. Check him out, or check out where I'm going to be casting next by following me. But that's it. Thanks for tuning in, and you guys have a great afternoon.